Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University.
Now moving to the last part of this module, that is 3-columnar cash book. Here we are going to discuss a 3-columnar cash book, as we discussed a simple cash book in the second part. Then the third part we discussed the 2-columnar cash book, that is cash and bank column. And here in this particular part we will discuss a 3-columnar cash book. So in this particular problem we have a 3-column on each side. On the receipt side also we have a 3-column, and on the payment side also we have a 3-column, that is discount column, then the cash column, and then the bank column. Both the sides we have a 3 columns: discounts, bank, as well as cash. On the debit side, discount column, that is actually a discount allowed. So whenever the company actually sells a goods or maybe received the amount, and if they allowed a discount to their debtors, that discount is considered as an expense and it would be recorded on the debit side. And whenever you paid some amounts and received a discount, it is your income, it would be recorded on the payment side. That means actually recorded on the payment side, but it is your income, discount received, and recorded on the credit side. So this is something different. Here actually it is recorded on the payment side, but whenever you are actually paying some amounts to your creditors and getting some amount of benefits and discounts, it would be recorded on the payment side. Now moving to this particular concern for the problem number 3. Here we are going to discuss this problem for 3-columnar cash book, and that is for Kyndryl. So we will prepare a Kyndryl's 3-columnar cash book for March 2014. You see the format as it is actually in the PowerPoint presentation, all the columns may not be enough to show it. So I'll just try to use abbreviations. First column on the debit side, that is dates, then the receipts, then the receipts number, LF number, then the discount column, that is discount allowed. It means whenever you allowed the discount, it would be recorded on this side, then cash, then bank. On the payment side, date, payments, voucher number, LF, discount. This discount is received. That means whenever you received a discount from your creditors, it would be recorded on this side, and cash and bank. Let's move the first transaction. Here the first transaction is opening cash balance of rupees 70,700 and opening bank overdraft rupees 2,800. As I already mentioned in the previous part, that maybe a bank cash is always a balance, but maybe bank is a debit as well as the credit balance. So if you have a debit balance, that is bank balance, and if you have a credit, that is your bank overdraft. In these questions we have a bank overdraft. Now see how it would be recorded in the 3-columnar cash book. So here in this 3-columnar cash book, see the first transaction. On the debit side, to balance brought down. In the cash column, whatever the amount we have, it would be recorded in the cash column. And on the payment side, bank overdraft, it would be written as a buy balance amount brought down. It's carry forward, it's written, it's wrong. It's buy balance brought down in the bank column, rupees 2,800. The next is next transactions that is cash sale rupees 3,200 and cash purchase of rupees 1,900. So now we have a cash sale and cash purchase both. Sales is always receipts and purchase is always a payments. Now see here, the sales is recorded on the receipt side, the respected date second. As I already mentioned earlier, the journal entry of the cash sales is cash comes in and goods goes out. So cash account debited to sales account, and it is written in the cash column. In front of that, opposite name is sales. And in the other case, we have a purchase of goods. So goods comes in and cash goes out. So the journal entry is purchase account debited to cash account. See on the payment side, date second, opposite name is purchase. It's written on the payment side, and in the cash column, you can see the 1,900 rupees of purchase amount. Now see the next transaction, and that is Kyndryl brought cash rupees 14,600 as more funds are required in the business. So Kyndryl brought additional funds in the business as a part of capital. What comes in? Cash comes in. And who brought this money? Owner brought this money. So when the owner brought money in the business, it always comes in the form of capital. So journal entry of this transaction is cash account debited to capital account. Here it is very clearly written what comes in, cash comes in. So that's why the cash account is debit. See the transactions in the cash book. Cash account debited, so it's returned the 14,600 rupees in the cash column, and on the receipt side, in the receipt column, it is written opposite name capital. This is the way this transaction is recorded in the books of accounts. Now see, the next transaction is date 8. Goods of rupees 6,000 purchased at 10% cash discount. It is purchased at 10% cash discount. Half of the amount paid by check and balance by cash. Ultimately, the whole transaction is a cash transaction. Why? Because of the half amount is paid by check and the remaining half amount paid by cash. Why we are actually thinking this way? Because of there are some cash discounts. Whenever the cash discount is applied, the cash discount is applied only on those transactions which are cash. Suppose if only half of the amount is paid in check or cash and the remaining half amount was not paid, then this 10% discount will be considered only on the half of the amount of total purchase. Here the whole transaction is cash transaction, 6,000 rupees of goods purchase. Now see how it would be recorded in the books of accounts. The 6,000 rupees of goods purchase, 10% is a cash discount, so 6,000 into 10%, it comes to 600 rupees. Now see, we purchase a goods. As I already mentioned, when you purchase a goods, we are supposed to pay the amount. When we are paying the amount, we will get a discount. We will get a discount, that means it's our income. Whenever you will get a discount, it's your income, and income is always recorded on the credit side. So now see, on the payment side, date is 8th, in the discount column, 6,000 at the rate 10%, 600 rupees. Now 6,000 minus 600, it comes to 5,400 rupees. The remaining amount is 5,400 rupees. Half of the amount is paid in cash and remaining half of the amount is paid through check. So 5,400 divided by 2, 2,700 each. So say 2,700 rupees we paid in a cash. So 2,700 rupees paid in cash goes out. So that's why it's written 2,700 rupees in the cash column and remaining 2,700 rupees paid through check. So it's written in the bank column. All these three transactions are very much connected with which account? Purchase account. So opposite name in the payment side, it's written by purchase. Now see the next transaction, and the next transaction is dated 9. Rupees 5,500 deposited in a bank. This is a contra transaction. Now I think so you should understand which is a contra transaction. It is very clearly written deposited in a bank. So that means what you deposited? Cash deposited. So how it would be recorded in the books of accounts? See here. You deposited a cash in a bank. So who is a receiver? Bank is a receiver. What goes out? Cash goes out. So now bank is a receiver, bank account is debit. Cash goes out, cash account is credit. Bank account debited. Now see on the receipt side, it's a bank column 5,500 rupees because of the bank is a receiver and it's a receipts. Which one is an opposite name? Cash is an opposite name. So the receipt side, you see the receipt column to cash, and in the LF it is written a contra entry because of, as I mentioned earlier, it is recorded in receipts as well as payment also. Now see on the payment side, it is written 5,500 rupees in the cash column because of its cash goes out, it's payment, cash goes out. Or which one is an opposite name? Bank. So it's in a payment column, it's written by bank, and as it is a contra transaction, it is mentioned C in the LF column. Now see the next transaction, and the next transaction is dated 12. Salary paid rupees 1,100 and wages rupees 250. Both expenditures are paid through check. Now here, when you paid through check both the expenses, it is first both expenditures are recorded on the payment side. That's the first thing. And the second thing is, when you paid both the expenditures recorded as a payment side through check, both expenditures will be recorded on the bank column. See here in the dated 12, by salary in the bank column 1,100 rupees and by wages 250 rupees as it is expenses mentioned. Now moving to the next transaction, and the next transaction is dated 13. Brokerage of rupees 350 paid by cash. Brokerage of rupees 350 paid by cash. Again it is an expense, and expense is paid by cash. So here the payment side, brokerage 13, dated 13 on the payment side by brokerage because of it's an expense and it is paid through cash. So in the cash column rupees 350. As we mentioned, the journal entry is brokerage account debited to cash account. So in the cash column 350, opposite name is brokerage, so it's written the brokerage in the payment column. Moving to the next transaction dated 16. Goods of rupees 8,000 sold to Mahesh, and Mahesh sent the check after deducting a 10% cash discount. which is deposited in the bank. Now here Mahesh sold the goods of rupees 8,000. He sent the check, and check deducting by the 10% cash discount, as maybe the transaction is already decided between the buyer or seller. The 10% discount will be allowed at the time of payment, and which is deposited in a bank. So here the check is received and deposited in a bank, so that means it's a bank transaction. That's the first thing. Now 10% discount charge on 8,000, that is 800. So remaining amount is 7,200. So now there are two amounts. One is the discount amount, that is 800, and the other amount is a received amount from the Mahesh, that is 7,200 rupees. Now see how it would be recorded in the books of accounts. Or it is receipts item. Why? Because of we are selling the goods. So when we are selling the goods and amount has been received through check, bank is a receiver. We deposited a check in a bank. So who is a receiver? Bank is a receiver. So bank account debited 7,200. Now discount, we are allowed a discount to whom? To our debtors. So when we allowed a discount to our debtors, it's an our expense. It's our expense. That's why the discount allowed is recorded on the debit side. So discount allowed 800 rupees also debited, and this is a part of sales. So to sales is credited. Now see, the credit item is sales, and we are recorded both this transaction on the debit side. So opposite name sales is written on the receipt column. Now see, in the discount column it's allowed. That's why 800 rupees it's written in the discount column, and 7,200 rupees of check received and deposited in a bank, so it is written in the bank column. Now moving to the next transaction, and that is dated 19, rupees 2,100 withdrawn from the bank for payment of shop rent. Here we have withdrawn the amount for the payment of shop rent, and rupees 1,700 for payment of college fees of the son. So now there are two transactions in this particular transaction. That's one is the amount of shop rent payment, they have withdrawn the amount. So this is a contra transaction, and rupees 1,700 for payment of college fees of the son, it's a personal expense, so it must be affected at drawings account. Now see how it would be recorded in the books of accounts. Here first is actually we consider the how much amount of withdrawn, that is 2,100. Now here see the cash comes in. When you cash comes in of rupees 2,100 rupees, cash account is debited. Who is a giver? Bank is a giver. Now see, the cash comes in the receipt side, 2,100 rupees in the dated 19. In front of 19 date, written 2,100 rupees in the cash column, and opposite name is bank, so it is written on the receipt column to bank. As is mentioned, it is a contra transaction, so it is written in the contra transaction LF. Now on the other side, you see in the payment side, on the dated 19 by cash, LF is C, and the bank actually is a giver, so bank column 2,100 rupees is written. Now another transaction, as I mentioned, the sum amount is withdrawn for paid fees for son, it's affected at drawings. So it is also a bank transaction. So see on the dated 19th on the payment side, drawings account debited to bank account. So opposite name is drawings, it's written on the payment side, and in the bank column 1,700 rupees it's given. So this is what a bank transaction. Now moving to the next transaction dated 21. Cash of rupees 1,000 received towards commission. This is your actually income. Now see on the receipt side, commission received dated 21. Commission is actually income but received in cash. So cash comes in to commission account. So here it is written on the receipt column to commission, and cash amount is received 1,000 rupees, which is written in the cash column. Now see on the another transaction, it is dated 23. Paid shop rent of rupees 2,100. We paid a shop rent of rupees 2,100, and that is an expense. So the shop rent paid is an expense. See on the payment side, that dated 23, and it is paid in cash. So rent account debited to cash account. So in the cash column 2,100, and the opposite name is rent, it is written in the payment column. Now see on the another transaction, that is 25th. Deepak used a check of rupees 5,000 towards the payment of an old debt. So the maybe they have a past transactions of old debt of rupees 5,070, and the Deepak issued 5,000 rupees check on for the payment of 5,070, which we deposited in a bank. Now see how it would be recorded in the receipt side, because of ultimately we received a check. Now see on the dated 25th on the receipt side, total outstanding was 5070, but check we received 5000 and deposited in a bank also 5000. So 5000 rupees is written in the bank column, 70 rupees it's considered as a discount we offer to the Deepak. So the discount allowed is 70 rupees written in the discount column. In front of it, it is written a Deepak, and 5000 rupees written in the bank column. Now see the next transaction, and that is 27th. Check issued by Deepak is dishonored. Fine. Now whatever the check we actually received from Deepak, now it is dishonored. If it is dishonored, that means the whoever the party was actually allowed this check would be considered in the part of the negative transaction. Now see on the payment side, dated 27 by Deepak of rupees 5000, credit side in the bank column, because of the check was actually deposited but dishonored, so is outstanding, it still remain, and that's why Deepak account, the journal entry for this transaction is what? Deepak account debited to bank account, and that's why in the bank column 5000 rupees were written. Now moving to the last transaction, that is dated 31st. After keeping a cash on hand of rupees 10,000, remaining amount is deposited in a bank. So the whatever the amount is actually in your hand, out of that the 10,000 rupees we will kept in hand and remaining will be deposited in a bank. So there would be a one contra transaction. See here how it would be recorded. For that, we need to close first cash column. So now first we will close the cash column, that is 38,600 on the receipt side, and on the payment side when we are going to make a total, the total of the payment side, it must be a 26,050 rupees surplus. As it is mentioned very clearly in the last transaction, the 10,000 rupees keep it in your hand and remaining deposited in a bank. So just see the payment side on the dated 31st, by balance carry forward it is written in the cash column rupees 10,000. And how much was surplus? That is 16,050. The previous transaction or a contra transaction deposited in a bank. Who is a receiver? Bank is a receiver. What goes out? Cash goes out. So the journal entry of this transaction is bank account debited to cash account. See on the receipt side, bank column 16,050 rupees is written, and opposite name is cash because of the cash goes out. See in front of that it is written C contra transaction in LF column, and the same way it is written in the payment side also, dated 31st by bank C, and in the cash column 16,050 rupees. So this is the way the balance has been retained by the firm and the remaining has been deposited in the bank also. After that we can make a total of the both the side of discount column also, and at last we will close the bank column also and find out the closing balance, and that closing balance is 18,100 rupees. This is the way to prepare the 3 columnar cash book. And in short, this is regarding the cash book, where we were preparing a simple cash book as a 1 column cash book, 2 columnar cash book, as well as a 3 columnar cash book. I hope you may be understood this cash book module. Thank you.
Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar Open University.